Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for another one of your questions about work, day 201. And this is a week targeted at questions that new grads might have. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I'm Roy. I'm a startup investor in the future of work. And we had the pleasure of working with that. Wait, am I calling you Val or Valentina here? Uh-oh. I should ask
That
you.
works. That works.
Okay, cool. Val for a few months, and she is now a VC. Is that what we call you now?
I'm a strategic investor, I would say.
Okay, cool. A little different than what we do, but that works. And you can tell everybody about where you are and how it is. I don't want to spoil your thunder. But we love when former colleagues are still in our universe. And so today's question, yesterday we talked about I'm trying to apply for jobs and not getting anywhere. Now we're going to take a step back, which is I just graduated and I literally have no clue what to do. I don't know. I'm confused, paralyzed, whatever. And this is a place many people have been in. I'm not going to say I was immune to that myself. And so Val, thank you for joining us. And what do you think new grads should do?
Yeah. Thanks, Roy. So for me, in thinking about the decisions I've made about my career and thinking about myself when I graduated undergrad, and God, too long ago, I think that a lot of people make the decision of the first job or what they do is that they just kind of follow what everyone is doing. They kind of do what is the norm, right? They go into consulting because it's everything that everyone does, right? I did consulting right out of undergrad. I think you also did, right? It's just people do it. And there's nothing wrong with consulting, but I think that what you really need to do.
Some of my best friends are consultants. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, my partner. Yeah. No, but I think that it's not about the role, but it's about just this tendency to just follow the herd that I think can be not the most helpful to a lot of people, right? I think what could be more helpful is following the singular individuals, the most people that you respect and that you admire and that you really think have your best interests at heart, and following them and trying to work for them, right? So it's not just about what's everyone doing. No, it's just so it's not just about what everyone is doing, but it's okay, I really respect this professor, or I really respect this friend of mine who is running this company, and perhaps that there's something there for me, and really talking to those people and seeking out those individual opinions.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, so you're not talking about the person I most respect, hey, I really respect Jeff Bezos, and so I'm gonna send him a jeff@amazon.com email and hope it works out for the best. You're talking about local heroes, if you will, people who are more proximate to you in your life. And I totally believe that. I also think that finding any point of connection with those people to give them a reason to care about you, because it's not just who they are, it's also how much they choose to take an interest in you. And I remember, for example, you said everybody goes into consulting. I would say everybody who has been fortunate to go to a certain set of educational institutions and all that. Well, and the only reason I bring it up in this context is the first time that I heard from you, you were thinking about where to go to business school. And you're like, hey, this random person went to my high school and it seems like he teaches at this business school, so I should ask him. You're thinking about whether to go to Berkeley at the time. And I remember thinking, oh, I share something in common with this person. And therefore, if I had the chance to collaborate with them, I'd know them a little bit better and be able to look out for them and, work, understand where they're coming from and be able to be supportive of them in their career in a way that I otherwise wouldn't. So I think those heroes who you respect, who are nearby enough you can reach them, and if they can find a way to look out for you, I love
that. And I think it's heroes, and I also think it's your peers, right? I think it's who's that person in your
heroes? No, sorry, I didn't just.
Yeah, in your high school, in your college, who's the person that you think is just super thoughtful and just who you think that they really have have your best interests at heart. And I think that one of the things mistakes that I frankly made is I was always chasing brands. And that's kind of why the consulting
meaning the organization's reputation.
Yes, exactly. It's you want to work for Google, or you want to work for Facebook,
and you work for Fortune, so it's not you hit the brand star.
Yeah, and I mean, I obviously have a lot of brands on my resume. But I think that when I've been happiest is when I am really worth working with people that I respect and admire. And when I feel like those people are looking out for me and are really concerned with my development, and so that's kind of why that is where I landed when I thought about this question.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I mean, I think that if people are curious about the organizations with strong reputations, going to work with them can be a great way to just see what's behind the curtain. And sometimes you see there's not much there, but not at the substitute of people who you admire and want to work with. I mean, you know, in the absence of something else to solving for great people. And your point, I mean, we went to a public high school for all of our viewers, but a special one in New York City, went Stuyvesant. And one of the things that I observe from people early in life, including high school, and, you know, my guess is you'll have this for business school. I mean, you went to Harvard, so you got a special community there, is the people who are special then, who you just stand out to you as special to you. I'm not saying special in some objective way, do end up on average, not in every single case, but living really interesting lives. And that being part of their life makes for a professionally rewarding, but more importantly, just a personally rewarding, interesting life. So I love that, like, start close to home advice. And I really appreciate that, even if it's not advice, because Val was just saying before we got on that she remembers when I said this thing about how all advice, the reason we call this thing, this is not advice, is because all advice is about the person giving it to you. They either want you to live out a vicarious experiment for something they wish they had done, or they want your life to justify their own life decisions. Because if they did X and you choose not to do X, that's like a ding on them. And either way, it's about them, not about you.
Yeah, and actually, fun fact, I asked Roy for advice about whether to take an internship with Axel Springer, my current employer, or whether to take a different internship. And he was like, this is when he told me that this is not advice, but that I should go to Axel Springer. And I did. And I'm happy.
All right. Yay. Good. Well, the good news is I have very little memory for what I have recommended that anybody do. Sometimes people years later are like, I did that thing you suggested. I'm like, I don't think you know. I actually don't remember. I mean, I don't hold my own opinions all that tightly. So it goes. But Val, to be continued. The only sad part for us is that you are so many time zones away. But you are in a great city, and we will see you soon. So thank you.
Yes, see you soon.